Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. I am Scott, and you, my dear friends, have wandered onto the Prog Corner where it's November, man. It's that time of year where I got to start looking through Progarchives Top 100 for the year, see what I missed, and lo and behold, wouldn't you know, right at the very tippy top, there's an album nobody's talking about, man. At the number one spot for 2024 is an album called With a Little Hell from More Friends by Greco Bastián. Oh man, this album is bonkers, man. It's crazy. I first came into contact with this cat's music in 2022 with part one of this album, which was With a Little Hell from My Friends. And this is With a Little Hell from More Friends. So yeah, the album covers are confusing. If you go on Progarchives, it looks like this. If you go on his Bandcamp page, it looks like that. But there is no physical copy, so I guess you can make your own album cover, right? This is only available via digital download. He has not been signed. What is going on, man? What is with all you record labels out there? The number one rated prog album of the year is by a guy not even signed. Get off your butts and sign this guy, people. It's ridiculous. What are you doing? I'm serious. If you've got a prog rock label, what are you doing? Why are you sleeping on this guy? I'm not naming any names, Cuneiform, K-Scope, or Inside Out. Not mentioning any names, but yeah, anyway, this guy is like a mystery, right? Nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows what he looks like. Apparently, he doesn't even play any instruments, man. He came from a band called Cobalto Circus, where I don't know what he was doing in the band since he doesn't play any instruments. Yeah, nobody has any, like, pictures of this guy. Nobody knows who he is. But I do know his real name. It's Pablo Eduardo Ibarra Robles. And apparently he is from Acapulco. So he's a Mexican cat. And this is his sixth album overall. Sixth album of crazy, wonky bizarreness. If you like Magma, King Crimson, Present, Koenji Hayakai, Universe Zero, Zappa, any of those freaky kind of bands, you'll really like this stuff if you're into Rio, the rock and opposition stuff. There's a lot of jazz in here. There's some chamber elements to it. Certainly some math rock, Zool, absolutely. And above all, I hear Danny Elfman. I hear a whole lot of Danny Elfman's composing style throughout these tracks. They're all instrumental. There's 8 songs. This thing's only 42 minutes long, so it's a real cool, breezy listen. Even though the music is absolutely insane, there's over 30 musicians on here since our boy's not one of them. He doesn't play anything. He just tells people what to play. How cool is that? His bass player is A. Figueroa, who was on the last album. And then he's got a whole bunch of guests. The great Ski is on this. Ivan Rozmanowski from Ross Vitalis, great St. Petersburg band. The members of Myriador, Far Corner. You got Alan Benjamin from Advent. If you can detect any gentle giant in this music, let me know. Helden, Magma, French TV, Infinium. Just a whole host of people. Just a lot of great musicians on the avant-garde end of the prog spectrum. To be sure, this is not music for the faint of heart at all, man. This is music that's going to keep you up at night. This is music that might even give you a few I don't know, maybe a migraine or two. But anyway, it starts out with a track called the Cobian Call to War Part 1. Yeah, Cobian is obviously that language that Christian Vander invented for Magma. But don't let that scare you. Part 1 doesn't even sound Zool all that much. It's got a lot of clanking noises, but there's a pedal point in the higher register to keep your mind focused as all the craziness is swirling around it. And then you get some classic rock, kind of like chord progression mixed in. They're very claustrophobic, man. They're so dense. There's so much going on. It's just crazy. Next track is 4009, the Mez King. And this features all 3 members of the Mercury Tree. And if you're familiar with that band, you know they're insane. But there's no microtonalisms here. Thankfully, it's just more tricky Rio with the crazy bass doing this wacky rhythm. Yeah, there's no sleep here. This song has so many changes and twists and turns. No rest for the weary on this thing. Just crazy. The production's a little odd, right? I mean, when you listen to this, you think, yeah, maybe maybe, maybe he could go in the studio and get a real producer or something. I don't know, but it's hard when you got like 30 different guys sending you files, file sharing around the world. I don't know how that works. Next up is a song called X-Titled, and this is really cool. Starts with the piano and a choir patch, a little magma-y, but you got a really, really super quick 14/8 beat here. And this is one of the few times I can actually count out the rhythm in these songs because they're just insane, man. The tempos change, the time signatures change, the key signatures go in and up. Kind of sounds a little like creepy spy music here. And if you think about it, all this noise is being made by bass, drum, guitar, keyboard, and saxophone and xylophone are the two auxiliary instruments. But it just sounds nuts. It sounds crazy. The song kind of slows down, gives you a whole different feel. A lot of cool stuff going on. Next up is called Retitled. Little shorter track. It's only 4.5 minutes long, but it starts out with some really cool, exciting, energetic brass patches, some crazy rhythms going on. You got a little come down section in the middle, and then that brass riff comes back at the end. Very cool song, very successful track. The next song is my favorite album. It's called Blakaman, the Bad Man, or the Bad One. Blakaman, the Bad One. I don't know what that means. I have no idea. This song's like 5 minutes and 40 seconds long, but it is cool. It's basically like a guitar and xylophone battle all the way through this thing. Just crazy. So many twists and turns. You're going down this road and then that doesn't go anywhere. Then you're going down another one. Oh, that's another cul-de-sac. It's just insane. All these weird parts that don't seem to fit together. But after you listen to it a few more times, all the pieces start to fit together. And that's the exciting part about listening to this kind of music is, watching it kind of piece together in your brain. Pretty cool. Next up is the only respite from the madness here. It's called Cosmetology. Longest song on the album. It's like 7.5 minutes long. And it is a little quieter, a little more calm. You're in a really cool syncopated 7/4 here. Doesn't sound like you're in 7 at all because of the syncopation, but it's cool, kind of slow, spooky sounding. This is a wacky Zool song with a whole bunch of stuff going on. Yeah, this could absolutely be a Magma track, but I'm not going to hold that against it because the next track is called Clownecticate. Oh, man, that's awesome. Maybe that guy spent a little time in New England. I don't know, but 5.5 minutes long. This is a great track. It's led by the guitar. There's like this cool slinky guitar melody that weaves its way all the way through this track with all the craziness going on all around it. It functions kind of like a breather from all the absolute insane wackiness going on all the way through this album, but I like it a lot. And then the album closes out. It bookends with the Cobian Call to Wars. This is Cobian Call to War Part 2, obviously. It's a little longer than the first one and a little more freeform. The first part of this song was a little more structured, had some stuff going on. This is just like a freeform freak out where you got a real cool fuzzed out guitar solo taking up a big chunk of this thing. Just a really cool, weird song to end a really cool, weird album. Greco Bastián, man. #1 rated album on Progarchives, and I haven't heard not one person talking about this record. I know it's a little weird. It's a little out there. It's kind of outside my normal listening, but for some reason, I was absolutely enthralled with a Little Hell from My Friends from 2022. I absolutely love that. In fact, one of the songs off that album was one of my favorite songs of the year. My first electric bicycle, or my first, what was it called? My first metal bicycle, something like that. I don't know, man, but that track was great. One of my favorites of 2022. Maybe none of the songs on this album are quite as solid as that, but as a whole, this thing functions great. I love how they bookend the Cobian stuff on, the front and the back end. So it does create like this whole unified album experience. And I dig it, man. So what's my score going to be for Greco Bastián with A Little Hell for More Friends? I'm giving this puppy 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. My dog's going nuts. I think he enjoyed it too. Anyway, boys and girls, I love you. Yeah, are you done? Hey, you hear that? He's going nuts. Anyway, boys and girls, I'm going to be doing some more album reviews. It's that time of year, just kind of cleaning up, taking care of some business. I love you guys. Peace in the Middle East. I hope you vote. I hope you voted today. Anyway, guys, I love you. Free your mind, free Willie, free the Ukraine, free Tibet, and God save the king. Save King Chucky. Oh, yeah, he needs some saving. You know what he needs? He needs to dance with snakes. That's what he needs to do. Oh, yeah, King Chucky needs to dance with them rattlesnakes, prove he's got the armor of God and that Jesus is on his side. Of course he's on his side. Oh, of course he is. God save the king. I love you guys. Vote.